Hey, so today I want to talk about sight. I want to talk about seeing, and I want to tie in the passage of the blind man to the passage of Palm Sunday, the triumphal entry towards Jerusalem into the city. So, the Pharisees were really upset that this man was healed on the Sabbath, and not only that he was healed, but that he said Jesus healed him, which was the truth. Jesus did heal this man. And so Jesus tells the Pharisees, well, let's go back. John chapter 9 and verse 39. Jesus said, I came into this world for judgment. Jesus said, I came into this world for judgment as a separator, in order that there may be a separation between those who believe on me and those who reject me, to make the sightless see and to make those who see become blind. And some Pharisees were near, hearing this remark, and said to him, Are we also blind? Jesus said, If you were blind, you would have no sin. But because you now claim to have sight, your sin remains. So Jesus came to make the sightless see, and to make those who see become blind. And so Jesus says that the Pharisees do see, and that this is, we're going to go through this, we're going to get it together. According to what they see, that they see sin. But that those people, it's just like this blind man. He says, tell me that I may believe and see on him. And so it's as if Jesus has opened his eyes so that the blind might see. And the man saw Jesus. He says in verse 37, Jesus said to him, You have seen him. In fact, he's talking to you right now. And he called out, Lord, I believe and I trust you and I cleave to you. And he worshiped him. So he saw Jesus as the Savior and believed on Jesus. See, and we've talked about this before. So that was Jesus, his message, his purpose. He says, I came into this world for judgment as a separator. That there might be a separation between those who believe on me and those who reject me. And Paul said something his mission was something very similar in Acts, and I'm reading from my Weiss translation. This is Acts 26, looking around verse 18. This is God talking. He says, talking to Paul, for this purpose I appeared to you to appoint you as one who ministers and as one who bears testimony both to the things that you saw and to the things which I will appear to you, delivering you from the people and the Gentiles, to whom, as for myself, God says, I'm going to send you. He said, I will send you on a mission to open their eyes, that they may turn from darkness to light, and from the authority of Satan to God, and that they may receive forgiveness of sins and inheritance among those who have been sanctified by faith in me. But Paul's mission was, I'm going to send you on a mission to open their eyes. Open the eyes of the Gentiles, that they may turn from darkness to light. See, it has to be a revelation that we see. And we've talked about this before, that Adam and Eve in the garden, Satan said, you won't surely die. You won't surely you won't die. Surely you won't die. And then so they ate the fruit. They touched it first, saw they didn't die. And so then they took a bite. And then when they took a bite, it says in Genesis 3 verse 7, the eyes of both of them were opened and they knew that they were naked. So at that point in time, after they ate the fruit and their eyes were open, see, they saw sin. They saw iniquity. They saw shame. They saw it. And see, their eyes were open. And see, that's what Jesus is saying here. He said, if you were blind, you would have no sin. So see, when Adam and Eve did not see in the beginning before they ate the fruit, they had no sin. They did not know shame. They did not know or cognizantly perceive that they were naked, although they were. But they did not have eyes to see it. But when they ate and their eyes were opened, they saw iniquity and they saw sin and they saw shame. But see, Jesus came it says, to make the sightless see and to make those who see become blind. It was God's plan all along to teach Adam and Eve what right and wrong was. And this is what Jesus is saying here. I came to make the sightless see, to make those who don't understand or who don't recognize sin, to teach them the difference between right and wrong. Just like this man who was born blind. I came to show him the heart of the Father. I came to open his eyes, and not just his natural eyes, but his spiritual eyes as well. And then, so we're at the 6-minute mark. I have one more thing to tie in with sight, and we'll pick up there tomorrow. I will see you then. Bye, y'all.